Left home in search of where the orchid grows. Found a lotus pond in Echo Park.
I love this new Milo album. I do. Milo really intrigued me with his previous almost spoken word like albums or mixtapes and EPs where, you know, each verse of his kind of felt like a strung together series of non sequiturs that were very obtuse and very ambiguous in their meaning and their association to the other lines in the verse, but I just thought that the way he presented them just had this sense of genuine like emotion behind them, like he was trying to present something by saying all of these things. I think it was really interesting, and I think that every now and then he would bring out just this really beautifully put phrase. For example, I would like to direct you to the EP where he raps over a bunch of baths instrumentals in response to the digital age and everyone's reliance on technology. If a telephone is smart, then I no longer want to be struggling to find a way to hold on to what's right in front of me. Or the beautiful Almond Milk Paradise where, with Safari Al, he delves into the idea of childlike imagination. There's just so much vividness to the images he's exploring and just all these references to TV shows and video games, and it's just really cool. So yeah, Milo's been a very intriguing and likable character, and I think on many of his recent records he's been having this sense of urgency as well. He's being a little less lax about his messages. Even if the album So the Flies Don't Come had a bit more of a jazzy, ambient sort of instrumental palette, I think that lyrically as well as in terms of vocal performances, Milo had this driving force behind everything he was saying. On this new album, Who Told You to Think, it's clear that Milo's lyrics are still quite obtuse. Some of the lines are very ambiguous in their meaning and especially their association to one another, but I think the meaning is a lot more clearer in general, and Milo deals with a lot of abstract concepts as well, like there might still be references, but a lot of what he's saying isn't tangible, if that makes any sense. It's not like the gist of what he's saying can be easily grasped if you just listen on the surface, although he does drop these occasional hints at what he's getting at, and I think by the end I kind of get the idea that Milo's talking about thinking. Yeah, it's in the title, I know, but it wasn't actually that obvious until I actually listened to what he was saying. But before getting to the lyrics, I would like to compliment just the instrumentals and the production on this thing. I love how ominous and so moody and smoky they are. They are like a jazz band backing up one of Milo's spoken word performances. It is very beautiful, especially on the track Call Plus Form Picture, where there's just this sense of eerie mystery, like that sense of feeling like there's got to be more to this. And not only does it creep me out, but it also draws me into what he's saying.
Best of complex questions and non-apologizing brutalities. Freedom is its own kind of salary. Even the people who made me are constant in unraveling. The disappointment when you learn the trophy was a photograph.
And yeah, you've got those really lovely references to Godspeed You Black Emperor and stuff like that.
They said, Godspeed you Black Emperor. They said, Godspeed you Black Emperor.
But also, I think that Milo not only addresses race relations, also the idea of being an artist who's being paid for his own work thanks to his vocabulary, as well as addressing things like opinions on his own work. I think it was pretty interesting, the discussion about referencing Anthony Fantano on this album. But I think most of all, he's talking about thinking for yourself, thinking about issues, thinking about things, and not being apathetic. And he means this even if you don't necessarily have the answers, or if you won't necessarily find the answers straight away. And he addresses this with the track where he references the Method Man song and kind of plays off it, saying, is it real, son? Is it real, son? Is it real, son? Is it real, son? And then on the next track, IDK, he pretty much repeats the whole time, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. As if after all of these musings, Milo is basically saying, well, maybe I just don't know the answers at all, but what matters is that I at least took the time to think about them, and because he's constantly thinking about things and building these amazing images, there are still an abundance of lines that will really stick out to you. And that's really one of my favorite parts about listening to a Milo project.
Sweating by that hot poker, fuck that. You should have been a stockbroker, fuck that. Rappers look like rock smokers, fuck that. At the bottom of the well and I'm screaming, there's still more. I grip the microphone like I'm John Gilmore, pilot pulpit as a starfighter.
And also a shout out to that bus driver feature at the end of the album. Very good way to end off the record. I've been thinking about it. It's an 8 out of 10.